What were you thinking? This is YouTube, not Pornhub. Come on. Hi. When I was 15 and I began smoking pot, the teachers at school said it would make me a communist, which it never did. So when my mother said, it damages your memory, that stuff, I assumed she was wrong, like the teachers at school. So I have smoked cannabis virtually every day of my life since I was 15. I am about to turn 65. That's 50 solid years of daily marijuana consumption. And my memory is crap now. I don't remember anything. I used to have a great memory. I used to remember everything I read, everything I saw, everything I heard. Now, you can introduce yourself to me, and 2 minutes later, I won't remember your name. And tomorrow, I won't remember where I met you. I'll know I know you, but I won't be able to place you in context. It has. My memory is porous, no doubt about it. I'm missing huge gaps. People from my youth come up and tell me, hey, you remember that time we camped out? We drove to Florida and we stopped outside of Tampa and we didn't have money for a motel. So we went in a rest area and we slept on the picnic tables. You remember that, Steve? No, I don't. You would think I would remember sleeping outside on picnic tables in a highway rest stop. I don't have any memory of it. It's one of the defining moments of Bill Johnson, bless his heart, he's gone now, but Bill Johnson's life. He cherished that memory his whole life. And I wish I could have cherished it with him, but I lost it probably sometime in my 40s. I lost that memory and it has not yet come back. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I was in Bangkok last week. Don't ask me why. I went to see Joe Cummings play at the Green Room. Joe Cummings, the band is Midnight Ramblers, and they're really good. They're a Rolling Stones cover band, and forgive me, I'm having trouble composing my thoughts. Anyway, Joe Cummings is a dear old friend. I wanted to see his band. I wanted to go to Dean Barrett's 80th birthday party. So I went up there and I had a good week. I saw some friends, hung out with Roy Bott, and met some new friends and lost my phone. I just left my phone in a tuk-tuk, right? Because I don't remember anything anymore. And I used the phone in the tuk-tuk. Evidently, I put it down on the seat next to me instead of putting it in a pocket. Or maybe it fell out of my pocket. I don't know. The pants I was wearing have zips, have zippered pockets. Do you think I would ever put my phone in a zippered pocket and close the zip? No. So I lost my phone. And I could see it's got some kind of GPS thing in it. For the next couple days, I could see this phone going all over Bangkok. And I'd call it and call it and call it and call it, and it was never answered. And after 2 days, it was turned off. The phone was turned off. So whoever has it, they're not going to give it back. And there was a lot of neat stuff. My interview with John Gartland, in which John put on a disguise to be interviewed to wish Dean Barrett a happy birthday. John Gartland is an Irish poet of immense talent, I think, who lives in Bangkok. And he and I hang out. Typically, we'll go out one night when I'm in Bangkok, which is like so far every 20 years. But everything from that event was on the phone. Birthday greetings from other people, from other authors was on that phone. And so after 2 days, I gave up the search. I went and bought a new phone, a Mobilchrome. Got the phone, bought a new SIM card, had the old phone number, transferred there. Everything's fine. I've lost line and I've lost contact with somebody I only know online. So that's a drag. But at any rate, yeah, so I got my life in order. 2 days of frantic anxiety because I couldn't keep track of a silly little 6-inch by 3-inch object. You know, I used to be a prop master in the theater industry. I did a production of A Christmas Carol by Dickens, had 800 props, 800 separate props. Now, a lot of that is the Cratchit family. There's like 15 Cratchits. They each have a fork, they each have a spoon, they each have a cup, yada, yada, yada. But 800 props, 800 items that had to be there on the prop tables in the wings at 8 o'clock for the show every single night, night after night after night after night. I was able to do that in my youth. Now I cannot, literally, not keep track of what's in my pockets. And so I lost the phone. I bought a new phone. 4 hours after I bought this phone, I'm sitting in a place called the Thai Cannabis Club on Soi 4, which, if you don't know it, it's Steve's new favorite place. I don't like much about Bangkok, honestly, much at all. But I like this, the Thai Cannabis Club, Soi 4. And it's a place where you can sit and smoke a joint on the street, watch the passing parade. Next door is a bar. You can order beers and drink them where you're smoking your blunt. Real friendly, sweet staff and a good product. What I tried that night. Very, very high quality, little spendy, but you know, the market is going to even itself out. We're going to get more consistent quality and more consistent prices, and it'll be more palatable. But in every way, this was a great find. I was very happy. Thanks to Roy Bott for taking me there. And I go up to the counter and I pay and I take my stuff and I turn around and I'm walking out and this Falang guy says, "Hey, is this your phone?" The phone I had just purchased 4 hours before I had left on the counter and walked away. And I would have walked on the rest of my evening and not ever remembered where I left it. And the Thai Cannabis Club saved my sorry ass, and I'm very, very grateful to them for that. They said, "Give us a good review somewhere." I don't know. I don't Yelp. I don't do any of that stuff. So I'll give them a very good review here. Excellent atmosphere, excellent product, tolerable price, and the staff very kindly helped an old man out. You know, I'm like Pigpen in the old Charlie Brown comics. I am constantly surrounded by a swirling pile of my possessions, a swirling cloud of everything I own. I'll leave the house with 15 things in my pockets and inevitably come back with 14. Wallet, keys, phone, nitroglycerin, mask, yada, 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 bandana, and helmet, motorcycle. And they helped me out. I'm very, very grateful for that. I'm going to put a QR code at the end of this monologue, and I encourage you, if that's your thing, it's very much my thing. If it's your thing, go check out the Thai Cannabis Club on Soi 4, if you're in Bangkok. And if you're not in Bangkok, congratulations. Good work. I'm not in Bangkok now. I'm home, and oh my God, it is always such a pleasure to come away from Bangkok. So I want to tell you a little brief story. I got 2 minutes left. So when I was 17, spring break, senior year, high school. Everybody else is going to Cabo, going to St. Pete, going on big trips. I grew up in Iowa. And it's still cold as hell in March in Iowa, so spring break. We haven't really experienced the spring yet. So everybody gets to go away. Me and my buddies, Lars and Mark, we didn't have the money to go anywhere special, so we were going to drive to Denver just for the just for the heck of it. We lived on I-80, straight shot, flat, absolutely flat terrain for 3 states, and then you get to Denver. And we were just going to go to Denver, turn around and come back. And I got a car full of pot. It's a big Dodge Monaco that my friend Mark had bought secondhand. Big old clunker, but as big as a battleship. And we start out, we were working at Jose Taco at that time, and we got off shift at 11 o'clock at night. We got right in the car, our hair's still in hairnets, greasy, sweaty. We get in the car and we start driving west. 11 o'clock at night. 6 o'clock the next morning, I'm asleep in the back seat. Lars is asleep in the front seat. Mark is asleep driving this big boat of a car. He's leaning back. He's slumped down like this. He's got the wheel, but just barely. He's got the cruise control set on 70 miles an hour. The 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, this was 1975, had just come into effect. So the trooper at dawn pulls up behind us. Now we've got the sun coming up behind us, and Mark's asleep, pretty much asleep anyway, in the front seat. He can't see the mirror. He can't see the rearview mirror. So the cop turns on his lights. Mark just drives on. The cop said he followed us for 20 minutes at 75 miles an hour with his lights going, just waiting to see how long it would take us to notice. We never noticed. So he pulls up right behind our back bumper and he hits his siren. Boo! And Mark slams on the brakes. And those two cars joined together forever, went sideways down the interstate at 75 miles an hour into the ditch, forming a V like this, with the engine compartment of his cruiser in our trunk. I'm in the back seat. I've been bounced around. I don't know what the heck is happening. The door flies open at my feet. I'm laying on my back on the bench seat in back. The door flies open. Here's this young 21-year-old state trooper. He's lost his hat somewhere, and he's just, you can see, he's like terrified. He's got his gun out. He's pointing his gun right at my crotch. He's going, "Get the F out of the car! Get the F out of that!" Yeah, I can't. YouTube won't let me tell this story. So I climb out, Lars climbs out, Mark climbs out, he lines us up against the wreck of the two cars, and he starts patting us down. He puts the gun behind Mark's head, cocked, I assume safety off. And with the gun there, he pats Mark down, both sides, crotch, up to the crotch. He puts the gun behind my head, pats me down, puts the gun behind Lars's head, pats Lars down. Now in our high school, Lars was known as King Snake. Guys used to try to get a fourth period gym with Lars so they could see him in the shower. Not a gay thing, just an absolute awe of what God blessed this young man with. So the cop is patting him down, and the cop comes up the inside of his leg, up the inseam, and he gets to his crotch, and he stops. And with the gun at the back of Lars's head, cocked, I assume safety off, with his hand cupping Lars's junk, he says, "Holy cow, is that all you?" And Lars puffs up his chest, hands out on the car with the cop's hand with the gun. Lars puffs up his chest and says, "Yeah, officer, that's all me." So this young cop takes us to the county jail in Aurora, Nebraska, county seat of Hamilton County, Nebraska. And the judge there said, "All right, boys, we got arrested Saturday morning, all right? We had an ounce of fine Jamaican weed in that car, and we had a bottle of what we called White Cross. They were like, I don't know, caffeine, some kind of speed, but just like teenager speed, nothing serious." And that cop, bless his heart, out on the highway, took that speed and just threw it out into the weeds. Didn't say a damn thing about it. Thank you. But the pot, he brought us and that ounce of pot back to the county seat. We got put in jail. It was Saturday morning, 6 o'clock Saturday morning. And Monday morning, we go to court, and there is in evidence against us a baggie with a single rolled joint in the bottom of it. A whole ounce minus a single joint has disappeared out of the evidence locker, apparently. And they knew, we were like, 16, 17 years old. What were we going to say? "Oh, Your Honor, we had an ounce of really fine weed, man." No, we kept our mouths shut, as they knew we would. So we got charged and summarily found guilty and fined $100 or a week in jail. Lars and Mark, their parents had driven out to Nebraska and bought them out of jail. And Mark's dad offered to buy me out and bring me home. And the judge said, "All right, well, we'll call Steve's mom." "Where's Steve's mom?" "She's at work." "Where does she work?" "Southeast Junior High, Iowa City." So he calls. Well, it's spring break. The teachers have to be there. The students don't. So they're like having meetings and stuff. And he calls and he talks to the secretary, and she gets on the PA system and says to the entire school, Betty Rosse, please come to the office. There's a judge calling from Nebraska. He's got your son in jail. Over the PA through the whole school. Yeah. So she comes, she's pretty pissed off. She gets to the office, she's pretty pissed off. And she says, no, I'm not going to allow Mr. Dorpinghouse to take Steve out of there. He needs to learn a lesson. Leave him there for a week. And the judge said, ma'am, we're not in the business of feeding teenagers. You pay the fine and take your son. And she said, no, I'm not going to. And she hung up. And the judge then called the family court in Iowa City and started proceedings against my mother to determine her fitness as a parent. Yeah, and then the rest of the story I'll save you. But the point is, because we had a joint between three of us, I spent a week in jail in this dopey little pokey town in Nebraska. Aurora, Nebraska, county seat of Hamilton County, Nebraska. And now I'm sitting on the street at the Thai Cannabis Club on Soi 4 in Bangkok, smoking weed on the street. Brave new world. All right, that's way over my time. Thank you very much for listening. I will see you next week. I love you all, honest to God. I really appreciate you. Bye-bye.
It's a good arrangement. Yeah.
Surprise,